Welcome to Menopause Unfiltered, where we talk about the down and dirty of menopause and everything under the sun. I'm Ella.
And I'm Michelle. So, Ella, before we get started and dive in today's show, I like to do a check-in because I know you started your HRT for hormone replacement therapy for estrogen and progesterone, right? Like, how long ago was that?
I want to say it's been a month.
How's it
Yeah. Like I just
Oh, sorry.
no, yeah, last week I had a couple of days where like not sleeping and insomnia. So I don't know, could have been, but now I'm back to sleeping better. Just, trying to get back into schedule and trying to get to sleep earlier. But yeah, how are you doing with your HRT
My quest.
symptoms? Yeah, your quest, your journey.
I know. Yeah. So, as you know, but just to share for our viewers and listeners, I've been on a really roller coaster probably the last like 2 or 3 months. About 5 months ago, I started a regimen with a professional or coach. Really made some diet changes, lost a little bit of weight, some supplements, and just some different changes, lifestyle changes, and they were making a big difference. I was starting to sleep a little bit better. The hot flashes had subsided. But in the last couple of months, I'm back to almost zero sleep a night, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 3 hours, but not even straight, interrupted. Hot flashes are back. Some weeks I have really bad anxiety, and it's not even from like life stressors. So I feel like my home life balance is pretty good, but I would cry at the drop of the hat. So we did some blood work, and my estrogen levels were crazy low. So I booked an appointment with my gynecologist, but that can take weeks to get. So finally, yay, the day was yesterday. And I went in and I think I was like just really anxious because I was just in my head, I was like, she's going to turn me down. She's going to try to put me on synthetics. And my goal has been the bioidentical, as you know, Ellen, that's what you're on. That's what you're on,
Yeah.
right? And so I went in and they did my blood pressure check and it was really high. So, the nurse like does it. It was really high. And the ladies asked me like, are you nervous or anxious? Like, do you get nervous when you get to the doctor? I said, yeah, sometimes when I go to see the doctor for some reason, like, I don't know, it can be anything. I don't know what it is, but some of the doctors
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. So
And so I went in, talked to my gynecologist. She's awesome. I love her. I really feel like she listens. And at first we were talking and she said like, oh, I could put you on gabapentin for anxiety. And then there was something else, like, was it Paxil or something else for that, which they said it's an antidepressant. Not that I think you're depressed, but helps you sleep. I'm thinking like, oh my God, like Jesus Christ, like, is this really what you're going to do? Put me on this? And then we were talking more. And then she's like, sure, I can put you on the estradiol, however you say it. And we should probably be in some protection. And that's what I wanted. I was like, why are you telling me this, like, antidepressants and all these things first, when I told you this is what I want? I've done research, education, talking to people, like, this is what I want. I guess you had to give me the option. So then I didn't even believe her. I'm like, so that's the bioidentical stuff. So you're going to put me on the bioidentical stuff. Anyway, my long story is she gave me a prescription. I was able to go. And then step two, my next concern was, is this going to be through the roof? But luckily, I guess I have pretty good insurance. So it's only like $15 a month for me out of pocket. And I know that's like huge and a blessing. And I know like you pay a crazy good rate for yours, but for some women are paying hundreds of dollars for it a month, which is just crazy.
yeah.
But I was so happy. And then before I left, she said, well, why don't we take your blood pressure again just to make sure? And then before I left, the nurse did it again, and it was like 30-40 points lower, and I was within the normal range. So
you were like angry. See, it's your anxiety. Like you're like,
I think it was already worked out, like ready to like go to the mat, right? Because this is what we hear. And so again, I'm being kind of long-winded, but I just had it in my head that my journey was going to be what we are hearing so many of our friends, our girlfriends having to go through, like go to the doctor and the doctor's like, you're fine, or your blood work is within range. We're not going to give you anything, or we're going to put you on the antidepressants. So I don't know. And I try to like dig a little bit deeper with my gynecologist to kind of like get to the root of why that happens for some women. And she's just kind of looking at me weird, like, what are you talking about? Or why are you asking these things?
Really, because I want to know and I have a podcast to tell all these things.
I was almost
Give me the dirt.
like,
Give me
you're
the
awesome.
dirt.
Do you want to come on my podcast? I didn't ask. I was just
She's like, I don't think so.
maybe I should have aimed for this. So I got my prescription, took it last night. Of course, she says, oh, it could take 4 to 6 weeks for it to kick in. And
yeah, it does. Because like when I started taking it, I still had the hot flashes, but now they've kind of subsided because I don't really have like hot like flare-ups. But even when I had alcohol, it flares up. So I automatically am like, I don't want to. It's not worth it to me to have a drink, and drinks are so expensive now anyway. So it's like, $25 for a drink, and I'm like, which I'm not going to drink all of. So I mean, most of the time I just take a sip and then I'm good. Yeah. So
I want to know where you're going, where your drinks are $25. Bougie Ella. But yeah, I hear you. I agree. It's not worth it. So I love my wine, but yeah, it's just not worth it.
And now don't you have to like take your shingles vaccination? That's another fun thing when you get, to be our age. It's almost like required now, like to do shingles. And it's like, I heard it's like a 2-part thing, right?
Yeah, I get mine today actually, because I've been good. I've been like lining up all my stuff. I got my mammogram about 3 weeks ago, and I got the results of that. They're clear, but the way they word them is so scary. It says like, saw some abnormalities or something, but then you have to read, then it says, but then the conclusion is it's fine. Like, what the hell? And then I went back and looked at my
when I did mine last year, I had to go back because they were like, there's like, you have dense tissue. So then they had to do an ultrasound. So then I had to go back, and then you're like, I had to go back. Like, it's like an ultrasound, and it's like, I'm like, am I having a baby? Like, like when you had your baby, like, and then I'm like, they're doing it on my boobs. And I was like, what the? So they're like, it's just, you have so much dense tissue. So then, they're doing it, and then you have to wait. And I'm like, so I mean, good thing. I mean, nothing. It was just nothing. So
yeah, but we get that call, like, we got to check it, and that's red flags are going to go. So I did that, and then I got the vaccine scheduled, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it is. It's a 2-parter. So, but anyway, that's fun. So that's where we're at. We'll keep everyone apprised about how we're going, and I want to find someone to come on actually and give us a good rundown on the difference between HRT, synthetics, HRT, and bioidentical, and break that down, because I know there's thoughts in both. But so we'll spin around, but fun. So we wanted to talk today about TV shows and movies and how women are portrayed and how things have changed, right?
Yeah. Were we talking about like the Golden Girls, like, and Sex in the City, like the difference between when we watched it when we were growing up, we thought these ladies were like in their 60s and 70s, and like come to find out they're like in their, what, I think I want to say like mid 50s.
Well, that article you sent me said they were like in their upper 40s to
like starting from 47, which and then all the way to like mid 50s, and it's shocking. Like, you're like, but like when we were talking to Trish and she was talking to us about like when she was cutting women's hairs, they didn't know what to do with it, so they made like that, she called it like that bubble hairstyle. And then you look at like the characters on the Golden Girls, and they had that hairstyle, which made them look automatically like 10 years older, and they all had that look. Like, and then I show you that graphic, and then like and then they show then there's a video where like their hairstyle and made them look so much younger, right? I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, so for our listeners, there's a TikTok out there or Instagram reel, and it takes pictures of the actresses from the Golden Girls with the way they looked on the show, and then they use AI or whatever, and they put more modern hairstyles on them, like longer hairstyles, and same exact face image, but just a different hair, and they all look 10 years younger. It's crazy what a difference.
I
But
know.
yeah, so I think it just was something about the 80s, and women of our age group were just sort of like, I feel like, put out to pasture. And I've talked before about how my mother said when, she started to get to this age, or maybe a little bit older, but she just kind of feels like she's sort of become invisible when she goes to the store, the way younger people deal with her. And I feel like they kind of perpetuated that with shows like that. And when we were talking before, we just assumed that the Golden Girls was written by some like middle-aged white guys, right? Where no, it was developed and produced by, I forget her name, but by a
Yeah,
woman.
I think it was a lady. Yeah, it was a woman. So I
But
mean,
I guess the good news is if we fast forward to today and we look at the new Sex and the City revamp, just like, was it just like that? And just like that?
yeah, it's just like that. I think it came about what 2 years ago. It came out and like yeah, and they were in their mid 50s, and the way they looked compared to the way like Blanche and all of them looked, it was like I was like, are we even in the same? Like, what is going on here? There's like a disc. I was like, this
But
is
that's
not
good.
right.
So at least like
Yeah,
this.
I know we're moving in the and I was because I subscribed to all these like menopause like feeds and whatever, and I saw one this morning, and it was the actress Naomi Watts. I don't know if you like she was in a couple of things, and she was talking, and she said she actually started menopause at 36, and
Oh,
she started, I think it's called Stripes. I don't know, it's like it's all like menopause kind of stuff. And it's like she was saying how back when she was started, like in I don't know, this was like years ago because now she's like in her 50s. But she said there was nothing on internet and stuff like that talking about menopause. And she said she went to her doctor, and the doctor was like, we need to think about menopause. You're going through menopause. And she was like, I'm only 36. I'm trying, not to get pregnant, but he was like, well, we got to think you're going through menopause. And she was only 36 years old. So it was
that's
surprising. I was gonna send you the thing, but I was like, it's early. But yeah, she was at 36 already. But she's like a celebrity. I mean, she was saying like there was nothing on the internet back in the. She's like now it's obviously we talk about it. There's more uh, op, opportunities and all this products out there, but
well, yeah. I mean, I think there's a whole demographic for us now, right? Like we see so many products, cosmetics, skincare,
right.
target.
And then we have more, like we have podcasts all about like, and like us, like we're talking about it, like making it like, hey guys, it's not a bad thing. Before it was like everything was like so dark and nobody wanted to talk about it. But like now I think we have more like avenues to, like you want to look up, you want to know about it. Like there's so many podcasts, there's so many, like you go on YouTube and you can find all of this stuff out. So
Yeah, I agree there is, but I still feel like it's still something that's not quite as talked about. I mean, that's why we started our show, right? It's so we
right.
have a forum, but also, yeah, there's a lot of information out there, but I don't think there's a lot of, you have my girlfriends talking about it, but that side of it, like the actual experience, I think there's a lot of medical stuff, but the reality of,
Right.
again, that's
We're
why.
just kind of trying to break it down like at a normal level, like instead of all the medical jargon and what does that even mean? Like, can you talk to me like menopause for dummies or something? Like, I don't know, like a book. I'm sure there is a book,
Probably
probably.
is. Google it. Google it. All right. Well, so the other one I wanted to talk about was Anne Hathaway and that movie she was in. What was it called?
The idea of you.
The Idea of You. Yeah. Where that was the other thing. So we love the fact that, and just like that, the Sex and City revamp, the women are in their 50s, mid 50s, but they're made relevant. They're still active. They're still vibrant, have great careers, secure family lives. They're not put out to pasture like the Golden Girls sort of were. But then the flip
Yeah.
side of Anne Hathaway, who's what, maybe not even 40, and she's already playing a mom to like a high schooler, and
Yeah.
it's really taboo because in this movie she's a mom dating a young like heartthrob from like a teen band, like a new version of One Direction or New Kids on the Block or something like that. And it's still, but she's
Yeah.
not even. But Anne Hathaway isn't even like, you look at her and she doesn't even seem that much
So
older.
she doesn't look like she's like, that's what I'm saying. They had to find a actress that looked like young enough, but to play an older lady. Like,
So you know what? Who does a really good job of playing people, putting actresses that look the age and the part is the British. My husband, I love watching the British shows. And one thing I really like is they don't worry about putting just pretty people in the roles or younger people. You look at a lot of the women in these roles, and I don't want to say they're unattractive, but they're realistic. They're realistic.
no, yeah, they're like, you're like, yeah, they're like, you can relate to them, like, like, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, shows.
Yeah.
Then so we'll do, Ella, what did you bring a product today to share?
Oh, I have it's the dermatology. It's the eye cream. I think you had it last week but this one is just for like, like to put in the corner of your eye so you know, all the wrinkles and stuff like that, like whatever on Instagram. And
Is it to treat them, or is it the one where like it kind of solidifies and it like evens them out and it only lasts?
no, you just put it on then, and then it kind of, like under your, at the end in the evening or something like that, you just put it on. And not like the concealer, because I think you had that last week or something.
Yeah, I have the concealer. I have it again. This is my anti-product dermatology. I know it's backwards because my Zoom camera's flipped. I'll link it again to what not to be from them. I love their moisturizer, but this one, it's an under eye concealer and it just sits in your creases and it just was not good. So already returning that. Luckily, their customer service is good. But the product I do like a lot, it's hard to get on camera, but it's called Ilia. Again, put in the description for those just listening, is ILIA cosmetic line. You can get it at Sephora. Linking. I'm so tired. I'm not getting sleep. I can't even remember the basics. Foundation. Oh my God, that's the word.
Oh yeah.
It's a cream. It's really good. It has a lot of good products and SPF. I try to get as many products with SPF as possible. So almost everything from my moisturizer to my primer to my foundation has SPF, and that's good. I really like it. It smells a little funky, to be honest, but I love the way it goes on. Very liquidy. It's almost runny, but I like it.
But it's like a natural though, right? It's like it feels natural. Does not thick.
Oh yeah, no, it feels weightless. Like it's not like a heavy liquid fountain. It's a liquid, but it's so light, and you can build it.
What's the price range on that?
I don't want to say in case my husband's listening. I'll leave it.
Is it like mid-level? Like, is it like expensive?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a little bit more than the drugstore.
It was either 38 or 48. It was 38.
I mean,
48. I think
it's quality though.
It's quality. It's quality.
Yeah,
and honestly,
you're saving the money. You're saving the money by buying.
Girl math. Yeah, because it'll last. It was like the dermatology moisturizer. It was probably like $38, but that has lasted me, God, at least 6 months, at least. And I use it like twice a day. It's worth it. It saves in the long run. Oh my gosh. All right, Ella, that is our podcast for today. So thank you everyone for sticking with us.
Yeah, and make sure to follow us, Menopause Unfiltered, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And I guess we'll chat later, catch up, and bye.
See you next time.